Now we're going to start the videos for Chapter 14, Section 1. The standard described China's influence on culture, politics, and economics in Japan, Korea, and Southeast Asia. We're going to discuss the rise of the Sui dynasty, analyze Buddhism in China, and examine a timeline of China to discuss the importance of events and when they took place. When the Han Dynasty collapsed, China split into several rival kingdoms. This is going to form the period of disunion. Now, remember, we done talked about this in earlier Chinese history when there was another situation where they overthrew the government and there was a time of chaos and different people took power. This is the same type of thing. The period of disunion is a time of disorder after the fall of the Han Dynasty. It was a mixing and a blending of Chinese cultures as these different people try to figure out who was going to be in power next. After centuries of political confusion and cultural change, China was reunited. Now, the person that reunited it and ended the period of disunion was Yingzhong. Yingzhong was the founder of the Sui dynasty, the new unified China. And this just kind of shows you a picture of where the Sui dynasty was located in China. This is all of China right here. This was the Sui dynasty. The Sui dynasty didn't last long, from 589 until 618. But one of their lasting impacts was the Grand Canal, which is a canal linking northern and southern China.
John Miller Lawson, go to Miss Holt's room. John Miller Lawson, go to Miss Holt's room.
I apologize for the announcement. The Tang Dynasty was formed when a former Sui official overthrew the old government. So they created the Grand Canal and it linked northern and southern China. So it's a big deal in terms of trade and transportation and people, the blending of cultures and things like that, by linking these together through the Grand Canal. So then the Tang Dynasty is going to come to power. The Tang Dynasty is viewed as a golden age of Chinese civilization. One of the greatest Tang rulers was Taizong, and Empress Wu was the only woman to rule China. Both these people are going to be very influential and spread the Tang Dynasty, helping to create this golden age of Chinese civilization. Now, this is just an article thing about Empress Wu that I'll just go ahead and read. It says, the only woman in the history of China to assume the title of Empress Regent as de facto ruler of China from 665 to 690. She then broke all precedents when she founded her own dynasty in 690, the Zhou dynasty, interrupting the Tang dynasty. In order to challenge Confucian beliefs against rule by women, Wu began a short campaign to elevate the position of women. Although short-lived, the Zhou dynasty, according to some historians, resulted in better equality between the sexes during the succeeding Tang dynasty. She placed Buddhism over Taoism as she favored state religion. She invited the most gifted scholars of China and built Buddhist temples and cave sculptures. Chinese Buddhism achieved its highest development under the reign of Wu Zetian. So, after the Tang fell, which was the time where they entered into another period of chaos, you see in 960 China was once again reunited by the Song dynasty, which lasted about 300 years and was filled with great accomplishments. With all the changes in China, a new religion was also emerging in China, which was Buddhism. It first came to China during the Han dynasty, and by the end of the period of disunion, Buddhism was well established in China. It continued to grow under the Tang and Song dynasties too, and the golden age of Buddhism in China came to an end during the Tang dynasty when an emperor launched a campaign against the religion. It weakened Buddhism in China but did not get rid of it. So Buddhism gets to this golden age, but during the Tang dynasty, an emperor launched a campaign against the religion, basically promoting Confucianism instead. They believed that Confucianism was better for the image they were trying to go for, so it weakened Buddhism in China, but it did not get rid of it. It kind of shows you here a timeline, a Buddhist timeline in China. You want to pause the video or go and look at this on the PowerPoint slides. This kind of shows you just kind of a timeline of Buddhist China. And that brings us to the end of section 1.